Somewhere in the distant future, in a galaxy far away, we have discovered several other life forms, thus proving we are not alone in this vast universe. We have advanced to the point where we are capable of consistent interplanetary excursion. One of the most cherished planets to travel to at this point is an unnamed planet, and its climate is very similar to our state of California annually. So, with an entire planet that is the size of Earth and potential for resources for our species to further grow and transcend our current state, what do you think we do? Hey guys, Futanari Lover 47 here with 3 A's, and today we're reviewing a little hentai series that you may not have known of. I know it's a little hidden gem, Space Pirate Sara. And man, this right here is my thing. This hentai actually gives me a valid reason, period. Albeit a light one, but a reason as to why there are fucking lizardmen and tentacle creatures in the series. They are on a different planet, and these species were trained for sexual intercourse. Like, that puts it above 95% of all tentacle hentai who are just there for no reason. And over all lizardmen hentai, because lizardmen hentai doesn't exist. And shout out to Space Pirate Sara for representing Mark Zuckerberg's brethren. So as per usual, I will be explaining each episode separately and break it down. Let's go, boys. Oh, and before we start, it did take me 5 hours to edit this portion of the video, my last one, because my computer runs like a 1970 Plymouth Runner. So let's go on. Episode 1. Sara gets fucked in more ways than one. That should have been the title, honestly, because that's very accurate. If I had a gun to my head and had to summarize this in a few seconds, it would go something like this. Sara kidnaps Scylla. Scylla becomes sex slave. Sara goes to new planet for shiny sword. Then Sara becomes a sex slave. End of review. The way the first 6 minutes or so starts, it could pass as a parody of a shonen because the fight scenes are kind of funny. I like this opening scene though. A lot of tension. Slightly shows power levels and introduces 2 strong independent female characters that are kick-ass pirate knights, which I've never heard of up until this point in time. As a matter of fact, I like the scene so much, I'm about to spend the vast majority of the first review on it. Look at this animation here. Just look at it. This shit was made on my computer. I'll give it slack. It was made in 2008. You know, PS2 graphics were big back then. Okay, whatever. You get a pass. Fine. Whatever. So for those of you who are wondering why this woman is trying to kidnap another one, and there are random soldiers just running around with guns, let me try to explain. So this is Dr. Phil. He wants to kidnap Black Widow and make her a sex slave. So Dr. Phil hired Captain Marvel to nab her. Sounds simple enough, right? They fight for about 32.7 seconds, and then Sara whips out her spaceship to blast an intergalactic nut all over Scylla after saying she didn't want to harm the city. Sara pulls out a spaceship to incapacitate Scylla because Sara's whole goal was to capture her in the first place. This got me gears because if your purpose was to capture her and you knew how powerful she was from the jump, then why not have the ship out immediately as soon as Scylla hops in the fight? You know, why waste time potentially getting shot or stabbed if you have your ship that can just blast everything out the way? I guess to develop a bond or a rival bond, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. This series is how Captain Marvel versus Black Widow should be animated if that ever becomes a movie, which I doubt because Black Widow doesn't have any powers, does she? I don't fucking know. I give up on Marvel after that Spider-Man movie. This shit was mid. Anyway, we're talking about this show, not a bad one. So let me get this straight. Scylla pulls up to a match equips her enchanted polished steel armor, starts fighting, trades blows and everything, then gets blasted by an intergalactic Spartan laser, and then only the enchanted armor is disintegrated. Whatever material these tights are made of, the military is very interested because it survived the fucking laser beam. And she's fine. No scars on her, but the armor is just gone. I'm pretty sure armor is tougher than our skin, but that's just me. I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm not an army scientist. Hey guys, me. After the video, I just heard myself say army scientist. I just want to find out what that is because that doesn't even sound like a thing. I'm pretty sure I just freestyled that thing because that wasn't on anything I had in my mind. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Well, fuck you too. Military scientists include theorists, Jesus Christ, researchers, experimental scientists, applied scientists, designers, engineers, test technicians, and other military personnel. So what I said made sense. Back to the video. And before I move on to the next scene, let me just point out as many things as I possibly can within 23 seconds. Put up a timer. Go. Where the fuck did he pull that bazooka from? Why are people shown in the first scene and then disappear in the next one? How fucking long is this roof? Since when are no more human beings capable of parkouring from building to building? What the fuck is the space pirate? Where the fuck is this supposed to be? Why didn't Scylla just teleport when her shit was going to break? Okay, let's move on. Next, Scylla gets tortured by taser dildos for a few minutes.
何をする
こうしてみるとなかなか色っぽい格好じゃないか。
何を
丁寧にお願いしろ。
And Sarah says this golden line.
早速奥の間で我が息子たちがもてなしているところよ。少々手荒な歓迎だがな。
白銀のシリアがこれからは白濁に汚れていくわけですね。
I need to start saying that out of context, you know what I'm saying? That would be amazing out of context. And afterwards, Sarah and Dr. Phil talk about Sarah's reward for her work of kidnapping. This honestly isn't the most honest works. I don't expect a good result if the reward to capturing a sex slave is not cold hard cash, because what else could be the equivalent to that? You can't give her, you know, a benefits package, because the FBI, IRS, and the COO would capture her and be like, wait, how did you get this money? She'd be like, oh, I was just, you know, Uber, except without their permission. And they're going to be like, no, you can't do that. That's illegal. And then, yeah, so cash is the only reward for this shit. And she's not accepting cash for some reason.
いえ、閣下。それで報酬の件なのですが。
案ずるな分かっておる。バーンスタインの封建であったな。
After refusing Dr. Phil's offer to make her a knight on his roster,
望むものは何でも与えよう。わしの貢献で爵位を授けてもよい。貴族になれるんだぞ。
お言葉はありがたいのですが、お怪我される前にご自分の身の程をわきまえられた方が良いかと。
なんだと?
They make sure to show he's holding a grudge against her to foreshadow what is going to happen in episode 2, 3, and that's it. After that, they go to the location Dr. Phil told them where the Sword of Bernstein was located, and this happened.
そんな。まさか。
私はカリン・ギーレン、セシル・ギーレンなの。
ギーレン？バカな。こんな子供がこの城のボス？
この二人、そんなわけない。あの時と同じ姿なわけが。
すごいの。ごめんなさいね、お姉様。10年ぶりの再会だもん。もっとゆっくりお話ししたいの。
So yeah, she got captured by two lowly twins who ruined her childhood. Once captured, Sarah gets exposed to her crew that she is a rich noble fucker and only wants the sword because it's a family heirloom and not to sell it for profit like pirates usually do.
あなたたち無事だったのね。どうしたの？
ボス、俺たちを担いでたんですね。封建だなんて、あんた自分の都合で俺たちをこんな目に遭わせたんだ。何よりさ、貴族なんだって。あんたのこといろいろと聞かせてもらったぜ。
マたちの手でお仕置きしてもらわなくちゃ。ただ犯すだけじゃダメよ。 一人につき3回ずつお姉様に射精してあげてね。
So the evil twins manipulate the crew into, rape over and over again, and that's how the episode ends. Fun. On to episode 2, the one where I shamefully regret to say that I came to a conclusion that this is what a Killer Croc and Captain Marvel hentai would look like. It starts off with the evil illicit seal plotting with the king to make Sarah's life miserable since they fully have her captured now. And after that, they flash to, I think it's day, so it's the next day probably. And Sarah is getting paraded on the beach like a dog on a leash. And she's only wearing that thong thing that Johnny from Jackass wore. That green shit that's just, you're like covering your genitals and 2 your nipples, that's it. 2 your nipples, I get more than 2 nipples. But yeah, she's just getting molested by some random dudes on the beach. And then she gets tied up and put into a separate room. And her and Scylla have peer-to-peer dialogue, capture, mano-y-mano, slave-to-slave dialogue. You know how it goes. You know how they were kicking it back in the slave days. And she contacts the off-brand Kakashi Samurai Shampoo ripoff through ESP and is concerned that someone can interfere with mind telecommunication.
何？
ボス。おい、ボス。
ハンスなの？
非常事態だ。勝手に脳波回線を繋がせてもらったぞ。
ハンス、今までどこにいたのよ。
連絡が遅くなってすまん。ボスが捕まった後、排水路を伝って一旦城の外に出ていた。
城の外に？
奴らはボスだけが狙いだったらしい。俺はおめこぼしってことかな。しかし、随分ひどい目にあったようだな。
一生分のザーメンをぶっかけられた気分よ。
今すぐに宝剣をいただいてきてやるぜ。
待って、ダメよ、ハンス。
何？
これだけの規模の金庫島よ。セキュリティも半端じゃないわ。一気に突破するには危険すぎる。
確かにそうだが。
今は一旦下がって安全に隠れられる場所を探して。
どうするつもりだ？
毎晩少しずつ塔のセキュリティを解除していくのよ。奴らの隙を伺いながら。
分かった。今日はひとまず引き上げて、本番は明日の夜から始める。緊急時以外、脳波通信はカットしておくぞ。
This is funny because in literally the next scene, it contradicts her strong status as a powerful space knight by her getting ethered. We'll get into that though. So now, Hans is on standby until they can successfully penetrate the Gielian's Fortress of Doom, and the security. Oh, these bionicles. Oh man. And, if you don't have anything for security, have it be something that you can openly communicate with, not just be Lego toys. In episode 4, you'll see why them being robots kind of just fucks them over, Now on to the major part of episode 2, Killer Croc versus Captain Hentai. Killer Croc versus Captain Marvel. Let me rephrase this. Now on to Killer Croc makes Captain Marvel meet his Killer Croc.
何？まさかそいつに私の相手をさせる気なの？
その子はまぐわうことしか考えられない暴れん坊よ。大丈夫、人を食べたりしないの。セシルがちゃんとしつけたんだから。
While she is fucking for what I consume as hours because it turned from daylight to night, she begins to taunt the king while Lizardmen 4-foot salami pole is rearranging her uterus, scrambling them like eggs for an omelet, which makes sense because women have eggs, right? Right? No. After taunting the king, Sarah begins to caress the Killer Croc because she becomes friends with him and the scene ends. And the king is pissed off because he wants to see non-consensual sex.
おのれ女海賊め、そこまでしつこくわしのことをバカにするか。今日のことは絶対に忘れん。
And technically, by proxy, the king's a furry. He doesn't want to have intercourse with other species. He just wants to watch it live. So he's a cuckold, furry, rape fetish king. How do they find him? It's crazy. After that, the Gielen twins decide to punish Sarah again. And by again, meaning that Lizard or Killer Croc was supposed to be your punishment, but she somehow enjoyed it at the end. So now they made Captain Marvel and Black Widow grow penises and have sex. While they were fucking, of course, Karen and Cecile were watching, and if you begin to wonder whether or not they participate, well, you should be locked up. That's simple. Episode 3 starts, and Karen and Cecile begin touching each other and... This is the FBI. If you mention anything else about about those twins participating in explicit activities who will use force. Okay. So just fill in the blanks and let's move on. I don't want to get forced upon. Episode 4 starts with my man Hans trying to find the Sword of Bernstein, and if you remember, the whole reason Sarah came here was because this was supposed to be a form of payment for kidnapping. Yeah, I forgot it too a little bit, you know. He starts fighting more Bionicles, and it looks like he has like a whole, what is this? What is it called when a gaggle of Bionicles just lie around dead? It's called something, right? Recyclables? I don't know. But after that, he's fighting more, and then he finds this one that's about as powerful as a fucking knight. And he says this. My guy, what? Just disassemble him, dude. You were doing that to other ones beforehand. And I assume all of them were as powerful as one, so if you beat all of them, you could be that guy. Like, his head is a pen dispenser. What are you doing? Hans, what is going on here, brother? Not only did you not participate in the free pussy that Sarah was handing out, not by choice, but you were also struggling against kids' toys, my guy? I'm willing to bet the story of how you lost your eye was about as powerful as Zorro's background of his childhood friend dying from falling down 2 steps of stairs. Supposed to be a badass man, but you just bad. And ass. Pretty good intro for the last episode of the series, though. Almost makes you forget this is a hentai. Well, also assuming you didn't watch that brutal preview that I can't show you, but it's pretty brutal. Essentially, like what happened, other than the Gielen twins doing their thing. Essentially they had like about 30 people for both Sarah and Scylla to just run through them. It was like 10 women, and just they put a little like ring around their urethra and just stroke them off. Very, very wonderful imagery, I know. And then had like 40 dudes spaz in them and just go off again. It was very, very horrendous. And it gets worse. After the Hans fight, we go right into tentacle monsters. This is lovely. Cecile and Karen train these tentacle creatures to have sex, and a crazy thing to consider is how well this meshes with the plot. It makes sense with the story, so this hentai gets 3 out of 10 points alone for that. Justifying tentacle hentai instead of making us deal with it is a way to tickle my fancy. Also Fuda. Fuda does that as well. As you can tell, these immortal lolis are mentally deranged, even though it's been quite obvious this entire series.
どうお姉様その子たち可愛いでしょセシルが一生懸命育てたの
今度は一体何をさせるつもりよ
お仕置きよお姉様が勝手に宝剣を取ろうとするから次はどうやっていじめてあげようかしら干潮なんてするのも面白いの
気なの
もちろんなのお姉様が完全に屈服して私たちのお友達になってくれるまで続けるわ
これって
まさか宝剣どうしてなの
取り込み中に邪魔をしたかな遅くなってすまなかったなボス
So, they just casually kept the treasure sword just laying around somewhere. The treasured sword of Bernstein, the entire reason why Sarah is here. What are you doing? What is this? I don't understand. You have them on security outside. Why don't you follow what you did there and use more security protocols inside? Like, I guess since they're... I don't... Why? Why was he able to find that so easy? And where is their security? Inside. How did he get in so easy? Again, I know all this stuff he'd be outside the castle, but there's nothing inside. If there was something inside, he would be fighting him now, but there's nothing inside. But let's forget that, because this epic scene is on the way.
私たちが宝剣とお姉様の秘密にずっと気がつかないままだと思ってたんじゃないでしょうね宝剣の力ごとサラお姉様を私たちの言いなりにしちゃおうって思ったのに失敗しちゃったみたいなのドロイド騎士を倒すなんておじさま意外と強かったみたいなの
シビウロ参る
Yeah, get her, Hans, with your Vegeta hairline and Ahego Manase graphics. You go, man. Beat up that loli. whose teddy bear has the same sigil as Kaname from Darn's game. And I also like how the sword applies a layer of clothing, insinuating that there's a weapon that can do the opposite. It's pretty cool. Cecile, you idiot. You can't say this is all planned if once Sara gets the sword, she activates her full potential, plus the power to get ancient galactic emperor power, which I'm 100% sure that can beat you dumbass kids. You know. You're not that smart. At this point, I'm at the edge of my seat, going back and forth after my balls have been drained. Now my blood starts pumping again. This riveting action I have been craving all my life.
やるわねお姉様。こんなことになるならもっと早く殺しちゃえばよかったのかも。今から後悔しても遅いわよ。ねよ、それじゃあただ力任せに振り回しているだけだもの。何？お姉様はまだその宝剣の本当の力を引き出していないの。本当の力？それができないようじゃまだまだ調教を続ける必要があるわね。
After this, Karen's dumbass helps Sara mid-fight by giving her advice. Honestly, at first glance, I was going to scold the immortal lowly, but at the same time, imagine being so cocky you can decide to help your opponent while they're trying to kill you. Hey man, when you swing that sword around, make sure to aim for my vitals. Like...
人間の脳ってタンパク質でできてるでしょ。脳、つまり人間の心は一度熱を加えたら固まってしまうの。そうなったら元には戻らない。
Let me fix that right quick. Anything can be damaged by extreme heat.
何の話よ。お姉様の心はもうとっくの昔にあの時の炎で焼かれて死んじゃってるのよ。そんな。炎と苦痛と恐怖で固まってしまった心は決して元には戻らない。私の心は。
So they're insinuating that she died instead of surviving, and this is all a fever dream. Interesting plot twist.
おじさまの相手は私なのにずるいの。いいじゃない。今度は二人一緒にね。おじさまたちの首ちょん切っていただきなの。終わりにしましょう。お姉様の心今度こそ殺してあげる。ギリギリセーフ。どこ狙ってるのお姉様。私の心はまだ死んでいない。
When Cecile and Karen are back to back, they look like +1 minus. It's adorable. Minus all the atrocious activities they've done, it's still an adorable couple. So that's why they call her Sara Scorpion. Oh, what a twisteroni. Once Cecile gets shish kebab, Karen starts to experience the same injury, implying that they are linked, or i.e. the same person somehow. If one dies, so does the other. That's heavily inconvenient, but it's also a coincidence that both antagonists for Baba Black and this show die fermenting in their own blood. Wait, now the security comes? Not when their hosts were fighting against the strong-ass pirates? Where does fire come from? There's no fire 2 seconds ago. Now all of a sudden these robots come in, just turn on the heat, and it's just... What? Why is the blood falling apart? What is going on? Whoa! Hey, where is that ship coming from? I thought her entire crew except Hans raped her and got shipped off to an island. That's what Karen was implying anyway.
あの海賊の手下ども、寝返ってサラを逃がすつもりではないのか。
大丈夫なの。おじさまたちはもう遠くに行っちゃったの。
If that's the case, then who the hell driving that ship? Huh? I shouldn't be worrying about that and get to the end of the series? Yeah, you're probably right. So as you guessed it, callback to the first episode, Laser Blast kills everything on the island except the 3 people remaining, and they survive and live happily ever after. The end. Minus the PTSD of both of them getting horrendously, mortified. Other than that, they live happily ever after. Sara becomes an empress, a queen of the galaxy a year on. Scylla becomes a high-ranking soldier in Sara's army, and so does Hans. They all glow up. You know what I'm saying? And it was a marvelous watch, honestly. Episode 2 is my favorite for reasons I won't name, but you can probably guess. And I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. I love rewatching these classic hentai. I highly suggest you rewatch it too. I mean, it is wonderful. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want more reviews from me. Any comments or suggestions for reviews, let me know down below, guys. See you later. Bye!
2人ならば何か方法があるかもしれない。しかしまたシリア公爵につけられたんだ。一定時間が経つと股間にシリア、あなたその体は